The following program presents principles designed to promote good health and is not intended to take the place of personalized professional care. The opinions and ideas expressed are those of the speaker. Viewers are encouraged to draw their own conclusions about the information presented.
Hello and welcome to Health for a Lifetime. I'm your host, Don McIntosh, and today we're delighted you're with us. I'm also delighted that Dr. Zeno Charles Marcel from the Lifestyle Center of America is with us. Welcome, Doctor.
Thank you very much, Don.
What an interesting name, Zeno Charles Marcel. Is that French?
It is a French origin name. The first name, Zeno, is actually Greek.
It's Greek. Okay, and what does it mean?
Well, it means a sign or a symbol.
A sign. It's a good sign that you're here today because the doctor is in. And tell us just a little bit about what you do, what you've done, what you do, what the Lifestyle Center of America is.
Well, the Lifestyle Center of America is a residential lifestyle program. People who have chronic illnesses such as diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, can come and actually learn how to live so that they don't have to depend on medications and so on. Now, not everybody can be taken off their medications, but they certainly can reduce the amount of medications that they have to rely on and actually learn how to live better, feel stronger, be more energetic, think better, do better in life totally.
If you're interested in the Lifestyle Center and what Dr. Marcel has to say today and you want to get in touch with them, maybe you have an internet right now and you can get in touch and check things out while you're watching. Here's a website for you, www.lifestylecenter.org, all one word, lifestylecenter.org. So I'll give that to you again, but it's pretty easy to remember. And we'll just talk about, today we want to talk about the best choices we can make. And so we're going to entitle today's program Best Choice. Right. Isn't that right? And you actually are working, I think, on a series of books with this same acronym as the title, the Best Choice.
Yes.
What are the best choices we can make?
Well, if you look at it as an acronym,
okay,
then each letter stands for a different aspect of what we will call total health. And total health for anybody really involves the physical dimension, the body, the thinking and emotions or the mind, and also the spiritual dimension. So mind, body, and spirit. So the total health involves all of this. Working with the total health and helping people to regain total health, then we have this acronym. I have worked on this little acronym so that people can remember the components. The B stands for balanced nutrition, and maybe we can talk about each one in a little while. Okay. But the B stands for balanced nutrition.
Yeah, and maybe if you're watching at home and you want to really jot that acronym down, get your paper and get a pencil and paper and just write down Best Choice and then just write down these tidbits as we go along. But before we do that, you're a specialist in internal medicine, is that correct? Which just simply means what?
It means that I work with all kinds of chronic diseases and acute diseases that does not involve surgery.
Okay, so you know a lot about all the internal organs and whatever's happening there. That's really been your focus of study.
That's correct. I am also a subspecialist, if you will, in geriatrics.
Okay. And
my practice actually focuses on a cluster of disease that we call Syndrome X.
Syndrome X, the so-called deadly quartet.
That's correct. Okay.
Hypertension, diabetes, what are they?
Coronary artery disease and obesity.
Okay,
yes.
Great. All right, so we're glad that you're here. Let's go to the best choice and start working through that. And you were starting with B for balanced nutrition.
Balanced nutrition. I'll just go ahead and list the things out.
Okay.
B is for balanced nutrition. E is for
exercise.
Exercise, that's right. Everybody knows about that one, even though not everybody wants to do it, right? E is for exercise. S is for simple, natural remedies first. Okay. Starting with the first things first. We use simple natural remedies. And T is for trust in the Creator God.
Okay.
Okay, so that takes care of this.
You're a Christian physician.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great.
And I know from where we come.
Okay.
And hopefully we can get to where we're going.
That's good. That's good. Okay.
The choice word, the C, stands for cleanliness. See,
All right.
it's a simple concept, but actually very important, cleanliness. H is for hibernation, that is sleep and rest and things like that, and also for hydration.
When I sleep, I don't know if I come close to hibernation, but I like it when I wake up and it feels like I've been hibernating.
All right, you know, get refreshed
That's right.
from getting some sleep.
Then the O is?
The O is for outdoor activities. So having a part of your life that you spend outdoor in the fresh air, the sunshine, clean environment.
Okay, outdoor. And then the I?
I is for inner peace. So we move from outdoor activities to inner peace. We want to have peace and tranquility on the inside. Stress reduction, things like that.
Okay, next.
And the C, the second C, is for connectedness.
Connectedness.
Or community. We're social beings, and therefore to have this part of our life actually enhances the way we were made.
And then E.
And the E is for elimination of harmful substances.
Okay, so we want to go back now and look more specifically at these.
Okay.
Let's look at balanced nutrition. What does it mean to balance? Do I have to have as many French fries in this hand as I have hamburgers in this hand?
Well,
what are we talking about?
We are talking about the best choice.
Okay.
And what the best choice is about oftentimes is leaving off even things that might seem to be good and choosing what is better, and then leaving the things that are better and going to what is best. You see.
Okay.
Sometimes we get sidetracked by what we might say is okay to eat or okay to deal with. But there's another side to this as well. Many people with the interest in getting a healthy diet, etc., move from a position of what we call health reform, you know, reforming the health, to health deform. They go to an extreme that was not intended. I'm a product of the 60s and 70s, and during that time, you know, there were people who were saying, I'm going to be eating healthy and whatnot, and what they ended up doing was just eating sprouts. So, you know, a whole diet of sprouts. That is not a balanced diet, okay? Basically, we're looking at a wide variety of fruits, grains, vegetables, legumes, or beans and peas, and nuts. And this actually constitutes the best choice that anybody can have for a balanced diet.
Now, some people say that because you've eaten too many carbohydrates and different things, that they try and say, well, you need to go off that for a while and go to a totally or very high protein diet to get your balance back, and you can so-called be in some kind of zone where you're really balanced. What's your comment on that?
Well, there are lots of theories going about, and lots of books and money being made by people writing about these things. The truth be told, people do get some benefit from going on these various kinds of diets. There's no question about that. On the other hand, though, we ought to look at what is actually the best choice that somebody can make. The way our bodies were meant to operate, we need a fairly large amount of the currency of the body. And the currency of the body is nothing but carbohydrate. That's the primary currency that the body uses.
So when you say carbohydrate, you know, someone's probably thinking, I don't know what a carburetor is, and I don't know what carbohydrate is. What exactly is carbohydrate?
That's a chemical designation for a particular kind of constituent in food. It's what you would find in things that we might call sweets or sugars.
Okay.
Right? It's also what you would find in the starches. Okay.
All right, like potatoes.
Like potatoes and rice and pasta and things like that.
So it's those complex carbohydrates. That's with the fiber and everything.
Exactly.
And then the simple ones are
basically sugars, honey, things like that.
Great. So we need to have how much of our diet needs to come from carbohydrates?
Well, probably about 55 to 65% of our diet should come from carbohydrates, and that carbohydrate should be what we call fiber rich, as close to the way it comes on the tree as possible.
So complex, not the honey and the sugars.
Right.
That's the simple.
You know, there might be a place for a little bit of honey in the diet, a little bit of things of sweetness in the diet, in the sense of the natural sweetness. You know, fruits are naturally sweet, and to have fruit in the diet to sweeten the food, that's more than reasonable. That's actually very good.
Any health food store you go into has a section of all kinds of different things, but one section they have, that's a huge section, is all of these vitamin pills and mineral pills. Do we need those?
For the most part, if someone is eating a balanced diet, they don't need to take all of these things. You know, what's interesting is that we have the ability today to take any kind of food and break it down to its constituent parts, right? The problem is, even when we break it out into its constituent parts, to put it back together and have it grow, we can't do that, okay? So there's something that is beyond our reach when it comes to what has been packaged in foods. And that's a very important issue. Whole foods that grows on a tree, right, is different from even somebody working with it in the laboratory and trying to put all those constituents together. Therefore, when we take things out of the food and give it as supplements, we're actually not fully receiving all of the benefit of what would have been obtained from having it in the food in the first place.
So instead of just having those parts and pieces, just get the whole thing.
Get the whole thing, that's right.
Get the whole fruit.
That's the best choice.
All right, so we better move on because I know balanced nutrition, we could talk about that
that's correct.
all day. But E, energy, what about that? Or exercise, rather. What about that?
Well, exercise is a relatively modern concept. In the days when people used to go out and work hard, right, when they came in the evening, they didn't say, you know, honey, I'm home, just, you know, let me just relax for a little bit and then I'm going to go to the gym and work out. No, you came in and you have already worked out, okay? But the kind of work that people did that was physically active is what provided them with a large degree of health benefits of just their work, okay? Basically what we're looking at, if we were to look at exercise then, is if the work entails aerobic activity, such as what we would consider running, walking, swimming, things like that.
We wouldn't consider what we're doing work.
Oh, what we're doing sitting down here, no, this is not work at all. We're not physically active, you know. Just our mouths are working and our brains are working a little bit.
We talk fast. Even if we talked as fast as we could, this would not be work.
I wouldn't consider it so.
All right, so they have to get out and exercise.
Get out and exercise, get out and be active. And from my point of view, a combination of flexibility, strength training, and aerobic activity is what really constitutes a good exercise
What do you
regimen.
do personally? I know you talk about it, but what do you do personally?
Personally, I walk. Okay. I like to walk. Mind you, the way I like to walk is not just to get out there and walk. No. I actually take things with me. I'm the kind of person, if I can get two things done at the same time, I enjoy that. Now, some people, they would walk, and at the time that they're walking, they meditate, and they look at things. I tend not to derive the most benefit from doing things that way.
You're reading a book, you're listening to a tape, you're doing different things.
That kind of stuff. And actually, my favorite thing to do when I'm walking is actually going through my mail, because I become very efficient in tossing things when I'm
you
walking.
go down the street where there's a lot of waste baskets. Okay, so exercise. How often a week and for how long?
About 5 times a week, if one could work into their schedule to have about an hour or so of physical activity a day, 5 times a week or 6 times a week, that will work out well.
And at the Lifestyle Center, I know they have, I've actually been able to visit there once. They have beautiful trails and different things, and that's what they do when they come there, right?
We have outdoor activity and outdoor trails. We also have indoor activities for when the weather is inclement. And also we tend to do a little bit more indoors, simply because in the controlled environment that we have, we're able to measure things better on the indoors.
Sure, and then some people that come there probably are very, very sick, and they're just starting to exercise, and they want to be close to home.
Right.
But it's beautiful. I mean, I've been there. It's on top of a nice little mountain, and it's a beautiful place.
It's a nice place.
I really like it there. Okay, S, simple natural remedies.
Simple natural remedies. If we start off looking at first things first, most people who take care of their dietary habits and take care of their physical activity or exercise, most people actually don't need to take very much more. Okay?
Well, you know what? We need to take a break. We'll come back and simply look at simple remedies when we come back.
Have you found yourself wishing that you could shed a few pounds? Have you been on a diet for most of your life, but not found anything that will really keep the weight off? If you've answered yes to any of these questions, then we have a solution for you that works. Dr. Hans Deal and Dr. Eileen Ludington have written a marvelous booklet called Reversing Obesity Naturally, and we'd like to send it to you free of charge. Here's a medically sound approach successfully used by thousands who were able to eat more and lose weight permanently without feeling guilty or hungry through lifestyle medicine. Dr. Deal and Dr. Ludington have been featured on 3ABN, and in this booklet, they present a sensible approach to eating, nutrition, and lifestyle changes that can help you prevent heart disease, diabetes, and even cancer. Call or write today for your free copy of Reversing Obesity Naturally, and you could be on your way to a healthier, happier you. It's absolutely free of charge, so call or write today.
Welcome back. We're glad that you've joined us. I'm talking today with Dr. Zeno Charles Marcel, and we're talking about the best choices that you can make concerning your health. We're going to talk a little bit more about where we left off, which was simple remedies first. Try those first. But I just want to give that web page again. If you would like more information about the Lifestyle Center of America, you can go on the internet at www.lifestylecenter, all one word, .org, lifestylecenter.org, and it's a great web page. It has all the information you need about times, schedules, prices, location, personnel, everything you might need to make that decision. And Dr. Marcel, we're talking now about simple, natural remedies.
Well, where we left off, we were talking about if someone is actually doing first things first, that is, they're eating right and they're exercising, you know, they're physically active, most people won't need to do very much more to keep their health or regain their health. Mm-hmm. However, when you do come down with some condition or illness or disease or whatever, particularly the chronic illnesses, using the simple natural remedies first make the most sense.
So what are they?
Such as using herbs,
okay.
Using water therapies, changing the lifestyle, of course, that's first, mm-hmm. okay? And then looking at the use of you know, supplements and minerals and things like that that might be
more, and then onto
medications or surgery or whatever might be indicated at that point.
So walk, mm-hmm. water, all those different things first. Simple.
That's correct.
Now you said minerals,
mm-hmm.
and different things, and herbs or herbs or herbs or however you want to say it. What are some of the things that you use there at the Lifestyle Center, or do you?
We do, and it all depends on what the person's condition might be.
Okay.
So,
Gugu lipid?
What's Gugu lipid?
Have you ever heard about that?
No, I don't know.
Lowering lipids and different things?
Oh, yeah, we have...
that type of stuff.
Some people respond very nicely. If the lifestyle alone is not what's taking care of things, then we might use guar or psyllium or a combination of the two, mm-hmm. and we get very good results.
So you know all those different things there, mm-hmm. if need be, but you start out simple and then get more in depth. Okay, you have mm-hmm. trust in God.
Trust in God.
What's science telling us about that? We know that that's something that's common in a lot of religions, but what's the scientific evidence of that now?
Let me just give you one little tidbit. What has been shown in scientific studies, documented, is that people who utilize their trust in the divine, they do better with regard to if they have a disease, whether they will do well with that disease, and actually people avoiding diseases. Mm-hmm. So whichever way one would like to look at it, trusting in God, having a growing relationship with God actually is a health measure. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, it has other benefits, but it's also a health measure.
Recently, the New England Journal of Medicine came out with an article that was kind of casting a negative reflection on that. I think it's kind of a backlash because that same journal and others have come out with very positive things.
That's correct.
There seems to be sort of a wishy-washy approach to spiritual issues, but not at the Lifestyle Center.
Not at the Lifestyle Center. You know, the part of the issue is that scientists really have a difficult time trying to think of how we can incorporate this, or whether we should incorporate this, whether the rank and file physician across the country should be meddling in spiritual and religious things when it comes to dealing with patients. And I think part of the negativity, if you will, that we find in the literature has more to do with whether people should, whether clinicians should or should not, as opposed to whether people, that is patients, individuals, the rank and file person, whether they should practice religious practices and whether that produces a healthy benefit or not.
Yeah, and I think it's a good thing to think about. You don't want to be conscripting someone in a certain way or whatever, but you got to be who you are, and you got to share with people the strength that you receive yourself.
Exactly.
With others as well. Okay, choice. We need to look at that now. And we have cleanliness. Cleanliness, they say, is next to godliness. But what is it, as a physician, that you talk to about as you're talking to people about cleanliness? What's important about that?
You might be surprised at such simple things as taking a bath and washing your face and brushing your teeth and cleaning your body properly. These things might seem very simple, but they can go a long way, because many people actually never learned or didn't learn properly, or become sloppy as time goes on, and they don't really take care of themselves. This can, a little bit of cleanliness in this sense, personal hygiene, actually can go a long way in preventing a lot of infectious disease and chronic.
Are you including dental cleanliness there?
Yes, sir. Dental cleanliness is very important. We have made lots of strides in the dental field by just having people brush and floss.
I've heard that there's a connection between heart disease or diabetes, insulin resistance, and how people take care of their teeth.
That's correct.
Is that right?
There's some evidence that there's an increased risk of having a heart attack by not brushing your teeth or not flossing your teeth well enough. And it may be related to an inflammatory response that develops because of some of the bacteria that we carry in our mouth.
So if you can brush your teeth while you're watching the program today, you might want to do that. We're talking with Dr. Zeno Charles Marcel from the Lifestyle Center of America, and we're looking at the best choice. This is the acronym. We move next now to hibernation.
And hydration.
And hydration,
Right.
Okay.
Well, hibernation is just a catchy word to let people be aware that we need rest. We need rest. We need rest every day. We need rest every week. We need rest because the body functions best when it has adequate rest.
How long should we hibernate?
Well, if you were to look at it from a daily standpoint, we need to get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep, quality sleep, per 24 hours.
Before 12 o'clock at night or after?
It works better if a significant proportion of that occurs before midnight. And that has to do, in large part, to the cycle of hormones that we have in our circadian rhythm.
Okay.
So by getting some sleep before midnight, actually getting ample sleep before midnight, that actually allows the body to do a lot of the repair work that it needs to do.
You have children. Do they go along with your hibernation principles?
Yes, they do, but they're children. So the parents, my wife and I, we have to set the standard and the tone for them.
Hydration.
Hydration. Many people in the United States are actually underhydrated. We don't drink enough water, and water is the key word there, right? Good, clean, fresh water. Now, the use of water, going back to cleanliness, we should use it outside to clean the body, right? Water on the inside actually helps to clean the body as well, but it can actually do more than that. It helps the chemical reactions in the body occur in a much better fashion. It also reduces the risk of heart attacks and strokes, and that was done in some research out in California at Loma Linda University. And so there is benefit to just...
So water on the outside actually decreases the risk of heart disease?
No, water on the inside.
Inside, because of the just the fluidity that it causes and less breakdown of the cells.
We don't have the full mechanism, but that is a relationship that has been documented and presented in scientific papers.
Okay, outdoor activities.
Outdoor activities, that's fresh air and sunshine. These are invigorating and health enhancing. The fresh air, for instance, the negative ions in the fresh air actually enhances a sense of well-being. It improves the immune system and the immune system's response to infections and keeping things away. getting some air during the time that you're asleep, for instance, having the window just cracked a little bit so that some air, not a draft now, just some clean air, that allows you to actually get better respiratory function and actually improves your rest.
I've heard the air right after a thunderstorm is the best. Is that
yes,
true?
That has the most negative ions.
So if
it
it's
even
negative,
smells better.
if it's negative, it's positive for you.
That's right.
All right. Inner peace.
Inner peace. You know, stress is something that's, everybody is experiencing stress, right? The only people who we say don't have stress are those who are dead. So that's not a good place to be either. But inner peace is conducting oneself and developing the sense of who you are, where you're going, so that you don't have to be stressed out by the things that impact us and impinge on us all day long, all week long, all year long, see? So to be able to cultivate a sense of inner peace actually is health enhancing, and it settles the individual so that then they become more responsive to things in their environment rather than being just reactive to the things in their environment.
We've got 2 more letters and about 2 minutes.
Okay.
That being connectedness and elimination of harmful substances.
I think that the issue of connectedness is one that we're seeing more and more in scientific papers of people belonging and being involved in society and family. And this is very important for the development of children and actually for the well-being of everyone. With regard to elimination of harmful substances, I think that should speak for itself. There are things that we engage in that are around in society that really we shouldn't be doing, okay? And we should get this out of our habits and remove them, such as, you know, tobacco, alcohol, various kinds of drugs. These are not things that were meant to be part of
the so-called. I was sitting on a plane once with a young man who looked like he had been under the influence of every substance known to man, and I was telling him about health principles, and he told me, well, my 4 food groups are alcohol, tobacco, and he went on. It was sad in avoiding those harmful substances. You know, as a Christian physician, we have about a minute left, and that inner peace can't be something that's you know, manufactured, or connectedness can't be either. How have you found inner peace, and how do you, what would you say spiritually as a physician to people as we close?
I would say that start off with some of the basics that we've been dealing with since childhood, which is, you know, open the Word of God, read for yourself, understand for yourself what God says about you. I have learned to get my cues from what God says about me, what He says directly. I read the Bible as letters to me, not, I mean, they were to other people too, but they're letters to me. I take it very personal.
We've been talking with Dr. Zeno Charles Marcel of the Lifestyle Center of America. If you'd like more information, contact them at their website, or call us here at 3ABN. We'll give you that information. We hope today's program has helped you, and that as a result, you'll have health that lasts for a lifetime.